Hello, welcome to another Tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and welcome as well to day 25 of the Past Masters series. And the painting we're doing a study after today was by Paul Desiree Trouillebert, who was a Barbizon painter, and I've pulled up a Wikipedia page for him. I'll give you a little biographical information on him in a minute, but we've done studies after Trouillebert before, and he's sort of well known for being like an echo of Camille Corot, but I think that isn't really doing him justice, because in some ways he was superior to Corot, even though he sort of took something that Corot kind of invented and ran with it. I have had some discussions with an art historian of all people who, was just not Camille Corot, but I'm not an art historian, I'm an artist, and all I can do is tell you how my heart and my mind respond to the work of other artists. And I really like Trouillebert. His approach to composition was fantastic. His sense of color, amazing. I just love his work, and don't think it takes anything from Camille Corot. In fact, people love to compare, that's what people do, and you can compare because there's some similarities, but really, if I had a Trouillebert in my home, I wouldn't be worried about comparing it. I'd just be enjoying it. Anyway, what else was I good? Oh yeah, little biographical information on good old Paul. We haven't done one of his pieces for a while. Wikipedia, Paul, and I'm probably not pronouncing the Desiree part correctly, but Paul Desiree Trouillebert was he was born 1829, died 1900, was a famous French Barbizon school painter in the mid-19th and early 20th century. Yeah, didn't quite make it into the 20th century, very early, I guess. Trouillebert is considered a portrait in genre and landscape painter from the French Barbizon school. He was a student of this guy and that guy and the other guy. He made his debut at the Salon in 1865 at the age of 36, and between 1865 and 72, he exhibited at least one portrait at the Salon. By the 1860s, his interests were shifting towards landscape painting. At the Salon of 1869, he exhibited a landscape painting that was more aligned with his interests in landscapes, and received critical acclaim for it. He went on to execute many landscapes that are very close to Corot's late manner of painting. Indeed, the artist first came to public attention when one of his landscapes was sold to Alexandre Dumas' son as a work by Corot in a celebrated forgery incident. In order to increase the sale value of the work, Troullebert's signature had been erased and replaced with Corot's signature. And I know I told this tale. I'm sure I pulled up this page before. It's all coming back to me. But anyway, that's a little bit about this guy. He was an extraordinary painter. And yes, kind of like Corot on steroids, really. Where Corot had that sense of air, Trouillebert was able to pull it off. But there's a bit more grace and stiffness at the same time in Troullebert's work. It's very interesting. A bit more loose quality in Corot's work. Anyway, so we're on day 25 here, and I should mention in the old days, in the 25 days of tonalism, Volume 1, Volume 2, this would have been Volume 3, but I decided to change the name because it was just getting... In fact, I don't know, this might be Volume 2, pardon me. I'm thinking it is Volume 3, it would have been Volume 3. Anyway, it was just getting unwieldy, and to call it days of tonalism is not that correct, because it's more like weeks of tonalism since I roll out one every week. But it's been, half a year, right? Isn't that great? how time flies. And the great thing about doing these videos is that it works as a bit of a journal for me too, as far as, a lot of times, like, you might not care what I'm doing in the studio, but some of you might, but it's always interesting to me when I listen to these things a year or two later. I go, oh, I remember the struggle. Because a lot of times some of the paintings I might have been doing there, long been painted over, or the successes, you're always, the thing with art is, like, it's really a high to do something that's good and that is well received, and that is top notch. But it isn't much longer, time after that you're looking for the next. You're looking for the next good one, bit of an addiction, I would say, and a healthy addiction, especially if you're, have a healthy mind. I personally don't go after too many masterpieces. Sometimes I know something's going to be masterful, but for the most part, what I'm really interested in is just doing something every day, or nearly every day, and just the flow and process of work, because I've learned through experience that the really good things come just as a byproduct of working all the time. And that's the same, by the way, with music. I've been working very similar. I try and do something every day, and every now and again I drop one that's really awesome, and then the overall quality of the other pieces that aren't totally amazingly great, they might just be good, they all become better as well. So this is I think a good method to apply to any form of creation. And I think you could say, well, that works for your personality, Mike. I'm different. I like to slave away on this one painting for an entire year. It's like, yeah, really? Isn't that just an excuse? Wouldn't you be better off doing a bunch of paintings and then just getting rid of the bad ones? I guarantee you that the best work would be better than your one painting or two paintings you were trying to make a masterpiece by working on them for a year. And let's face it, how much work did you really do as well? A lot of times it's better to have to sum it up, it's better to have a practice, right? Okay. Anyway, we will have another 26 here, and the great news, we're getting close to the end, but great news for some of you that are interested in what it would be like to be actually in the studio with me painting, is that I have concluded the photography and the video work for the Autumn Montclair, and actually did my first trial 1 hour video. I think I'm going to cut them up into 1 hour chunks at full resolution, so it's going to be a bit of work to upload them, but I thought I'd probably do that at night before bed, and just let it, you can kind of percolate in the background. And so I don't know how many parts there's going to be. It's, I could, if I was better at math, I could probably figure it out just by extrapolating the amount of data size divided by the time it takes to watch. It's pretty straightforward, but I haven't done that equation. I'm guessing 7 hours, 6.5 hours, maybe 8. Who knows? We'll see. Anyway, that's how many parts it'll be. I'm going to make each part roughly 1 hour. Like, it might be a little over or a little under, depending on how it breaks down for the days that I taped it. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. New subscribers, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And old subscribers, thank you for sticking around and following what I do. I'll be back real soon with another video. Meanwhile, please take good care and stay out of trouble.